Well,
maybe.
I just sitting in bed going, I fucking hate those guys.
So, a couple things. Michelle Rodriguez is going to be starring in a movie that has her as a gender reassigned thriller called Tomboy.
Yeah. So, the plot of the movie starts off with there's a male hitman who gets kidnapped, and then some crazy rogue surgeon turns her into a woman. And then she goes on a revenge streak to get revenge on her for being turned into a woman, because she did not want to do that.
So, let me say first, this plot is it's nothing special, but I love it. Like, revenge movies are great.
Right.
So, I like that already. And I like Michelle Rodriguez. It's going to be awesome.
And everyone knows she's looking like a man anyway.
Yeah.
So, everyone was thinking it.
But
perfect cast.
But why would a crazed scientist turn her into a woman?
Well, the crazed scientist is Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, well, you know, that's Sigourney Weaver, so...
Yeah, I don't know. That's just
I won't hate this time. But I'm just saying that seems extremely odd.
Maybe she also wants revenge.
Well, there's a lot of...
change her face so nobody knows.
Maybe she's a former man, too.
Like...
And that's her thing.
It's possible.
She catches everybody.
It's entirely possible.
Yeah, there's some kind of link in the backstory to Sigourney where she's getting revenge on this hitman.
She's a serial gender reassigner.
That's what she does. Doesn't kill anyone. She just gender reassigns them.
Yeah.
Taking the tomboy.
Oh, jeez. I don't know. I actually really want to watch it.
Yeah, but there's a lot of this. My question is how long until people really start flipping out about gender reassignment's not a sensationalistic plot device like this glad people say. How long until they really start getting serious and trying to boycott this movie or get something stopped, you know?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but it's Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood puts out movies and people have their little clamoring, and most times they just move on. So,
until something else...
It's not going to stop the movie coming out.
Until something else comes up that is also, decidedly not Christian morals.
Right.
Yeah.
So what does GLAAD stand for?
Gay Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Did you read that?
On the spot.
Nicely done.
I just know that it stands for the Gay and Lesbian.
Or did you just make that up? You're like, I have no idea if that's what it actually means. But
I'm Googling that.
Check it.
I believe you.
Check it.
Well, I mean, I don't feel confident believing you, but I'm going to. Mostly because I'm too lazy to check it. You're checking it?
Ryan's checking it.
Oh my gosh. That's what we need to have on our podcast, definitely is. Double check it. I'm not lying, we need to double check everything comes out of his mouth.
I like how it doesn't tell.
Doesn't say.
Yeah.
Doesn't say.
Well,
it's it's this.
But, I don't know, I don't think it's that. Do you think we're going to see any, any complaining about it? Any kind of...
Well, the GLAAD people are already complaining about it.
Are they?
Yeah.
Man.
They've already come out.
They just looked at the script and were like...
They called it disappointing because gender reassignment surgery is not a sensationalistic plot device. Well, in this movie it is.
Yeah, but what about all the other movies? I mean,
wait, so are they angry because it shouldn't be a sensationalistic plot device, or because it is just a plot device?
They're saying it's a sensitive life decision, or whatever, and it's a serious matter, and that it shouldn't be used as a cheap plot device like this.
Bruh.
That's what they're saying. And I'm
because it is such a delicate decision, makes it a sensational plot device. If you force it on somebody else, that makes it pretty sensational, right?
Right, but they're saying it shouldn't be used that way. They only see gender reassignment movies where it's
maybe it's just because
heartfelt and
what's that?
Whatever.
I think you got to give them a chance to play the movie out, right?
Maybe it's just because it's sensitive right now. That's kind of a topic.
It is a hot button issue.
Right
it is a hot button issue right now. The whole thing is a hot button issue at the moment.
I'm just saying, let it play out. I mean, maybe it'll be good in the end.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll actually say something decent, but.
I mean, I feel like Michelle Rodriguez is kind of serious. She's probably serious about her roles. I don't think she would be down with starring in a movie that was negatively, like, shedding negative light on it.
Considering she's come out as bisexual too, so like
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'll double check before I get like.
Well, I mean,
but
it's already on. It's dude. It's too late.
I'm pretty sure she has.
Yeah. Either way, I feel like she, especially after watching interviews with her, like as like on the Fast and the Furious cast, and like who these people are like behind the screens, and like.
Yeah.
She seems like she has good morals, and I don't think she would star in anything that would be wrong like that. I don't know her, but I'm just saying.
Well, I know she's turned out a lot of roles because she only takes certain ones that she feels good about.
Oh,
like she won't be, she doesn't want to be bimbos or whatever. She don't want to be anybody like that. She wants to be like strong female characters, or she won't take it. So
yeah, I'm for it. I want to see it. So anyway,
should be interesting.
Kind of along the lines of. Well, actually, it's not really along the lines of that at all. It's more or less just being disappointing. South by Southwest cancels gamer panels after threats.
Yeah.
Now, you had read about this. Why don't you go ahead and explain what happened?
I'll try. Okay, basically, there were a number of different panels that South by Southwest was going to have that include an open discussion about problems with, feminism in gaming and sexism in gaming and movies and in general in media, and the problems that females face in those particular fields. A lot of threats came in. Not a few, but a lot of threats came in, and so South by Southwest canceled them. Those panels. Now,
why would they?
Well, there's two sides to this. First thing is you let the terrorists win. That's true.
Yeah.
That's bad. It
sucks.
The terrorists win.
Counter strike.
The other thing though is it is in Texas, it is open carry, and they literally can't stop them from bringing weapons in.
I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
So if they don't cancel the panels and someone does come and shoot some people, then everyone blames them. Well, you knew you had threats. There were credible threats. How come you didn't stop this from happening?
Yeah.
Why didn't you save my wife from getting shot? Or my husband from getting shot at this panel. Why did you have it?
But come on, man.
So they gotta play a threat. They have to play it safe and conservative. They have no choice.
I understand that, but I hate the fact that people are still death threatening over this sort of bullshit.
Well, it's 10-year-olds, man. And even if they're not actually 10, they might as well be 10.
It's not 10-year-olds, dude. It's 30-year-olds.
That act like they're 10.
They act like they're 10.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I just said.
I mean, it's like you're getting a rise out of it, so yeah, why not keep doing it? I mean,
right.
It's just like when we worked at that one place, and they called bomb threats in every day, and it'd be in cold of winter, and someone would call a bomb threat in, and we'd be sitting out there like, this is crazy. No, I mean, I don't know, I feel like, I think it's funny. I can't help but laugh at the situation. It just cracks me up, and I don't know.
I think it's mostly funny because it's ridiculous. It's a bunch of man babies, you know, crying and whining because they don't want to have an open discussion because it's scary for them.
Right. Because they might have to admit that something they do isn't the best possible thing.
They'll never admit that, but,
It's the internet. They're not wrong.
Yeah, but I feel like they're also taking it a little too far to the other side. I mean... You can't, like my beef with the whole Gamergate situation and all of that, the discussion there, and you can't just take the ridicule of the internet and say that the gaming people are worse off than people who get fat shamed or whatever somewhere else. I mean, the internet is just a mean place.
Right.
You put it out there in an open public discussion, you get beat up. I mean, look at the presidential candidates and all that, and the government, they get beat down. People digging stuff up out of their past. I mean, that's just the breaks, Once you put on that public face, you're open for your open season, I just feel like people are trying to say oh, well, the gaming community, and honestly, I mean, I don't really have any evidence to support this claim, but as far as I recall and things that I've read and seen, the people who are less likely to do anything are those people. They just talk crap on the internet and nothing comes to fruition from it. So
they actually have to get up and, do something.
They're too busy swatting and stuff.
Yeah, oh God.
I'm sure they have that sweet destiny right that day.
Right. They're just too busy trying to get those fat loots. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's a gaming community problem so much. I think the vast majority of the gaming community are people who just want a game and they don't give a shit about anything else.
Right.
But there are some people out there who who are pretty bad on both sides of the fence, I think, who are very vocal about it. And I think the people on the side of the fence were like, we should keep everything the same. The Gamergaters have like no legs to stand on. They literally have they have nothing, because they keep talking about how it's about authenticity in gaming journalism. They continue to beat that drum. They really do. They continue to beat that. We're worried about gaming journalism being authentic. We're worried about like women using their feminine wiles to get their games pushed forward or whatever, and all this nonsense. And I'm like, well, there's never been authenticity. Gaming journalism has always been a shill. It has always been a shill for the gaming companies. That is it in a discussion. It has always just been an extra free media for them. Like making Nintendo Power was the first one.
Right.
And it was a shill for Nintendo.
Yeah.
The thing is that I don't know. Like at best, like let's say there's no money being switched. Okay, no money are changing hands. At best, it's still just an opinion piece.
Yeah.
At best. Unless you're just like, well, this game has this many polygons and there's a bug here, but that's not what you see in magazines or these websites. You see opinion pieces, you know, and sometimes opinions seem a lot brighter when you got money in your hand.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I've never actually bought a game based on what I read in a magazine anyway. Like, I'm very much like, my media is like, what are my friends and peers saying? And then even more importantly, what do I think when I demo the game? So, I don't even know that, again, like, when I read some of these things, like, I end up being put in the center of it because obviously I don't identify myself with those types of gamers. I mean, I like games. I spend ridiculous money on stuff, and I like to play new content and everything. But the things that they're angry and flustered about, I don't relate to at all. And then
let's not pretend that like gaming journalism fucking matters at all. Let's not pretend that's a thing, because it's not. It just isn't. And we're in an age of like tons of beta tests. I mean, we've all played games that we were interested in before they came out.
Yeah,
like
that's the
half
stuff
over half the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I assumed that anyway, when I'm reading a review, like, from Game Informer, they probably got slipped some money to put a good review in there. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, honestly, I don't trust that. I mean,
oh, jeez, Watch Dogs.
Bro, let me go there. That game is going to change everything.
That was the...
And it's still $60 somehow. I don't...
Oh.
My favorite part in that game is when I was watching a video. I actually only played it, like, very little. But I saw a video of a part of the game where they're talking about the L train in Chicago. But there's a 90-degree turn it makes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
You're like, oh, trains can do that, apparently.
They don't make 90-degree turns, that's for sure.
Yeah, just blatant stuff like that. Or like there was a part where this guy is walking up to a window and there's a reflection in the window and he was really impressed by it. He's like, wow, that's really cool. And then he looked at it close at the reflection, and behind him, what it was supposed to be reflecting is like an alleyway. It's all like, you know, broken down. There's holes in the road and barrels everywhere, and it just looks terrible. But what's reflecting is a metropolis like scene
right
in the window,
like a skyline and stuff.
Like a skyline, yeah. It was just.
There's no way it would be reflecting that.
Yeah.
Who was it that we know that said that the best time they had in that game was playing the little mini game with a tank?
Oh, who was that?
That's what I read.
Yeah.
Oh, was that you?
Yeah.
The Tank game was pretty cool, but like, other than that, the rest of the game was crap. But the Spider Tank game was awesome. Play that.
Interestingly enough, here's a little bit for you guys to chew on. You specifically, Ryan. Everybody won't care, and you may not care, Marv. I don't know.
Oh,
but
no.
Watch Dogs, that universe is actually the same universe as Assassin's Creed.
So that's the
No
future
wonder it's
part of
terrible.
Assassin's Creed, then?
It's not the future part of Assassin's Creed. It is just Assassin's Creed. Like,
because isn't Assassin's Creed in the future anyway?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it
It's
started
like technically in the future, and then you go back in the past and control someone else's body or whatever.
It's actually the
Sort of
same
like
universe. Somebody did some.
All 6 games.
Like all of them. Somebody did research on it and found out, like, you know, because when you play Assassin's Creed, you figure out who owns the company that is doing this, like, memory diving stuff. You find out who the owner of the company is, the CEO. One of the jobs in Assassin's Creed is to kill that guy. Stuff like that. So there's a bunch of stuff like that. Yeah, you actually find out that it's in the same universe. They just don't blatantly tell you that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be a sweet crossover. We can be a hacker.
Yeah.
Well, one of the jobs you get is
Right.
actually given to you from the Brotherhood.
You just press the button
Yeah.
on your phone. You're not getting like. That whole thing was ridiculous. That whole thing was like they promised like you can hack everything in the world. Nah, bro, you can hack stoplights and some other things or whatever.
No, can't hack cars.
You can't hack everything.
Yeah, it's not working. You're not shutting up.
But what I you know, I tell what I'm counter hacking your head.
I don't know, back to that point that I said, I just kind of feel like in a situation like this, the sad part is that, again, as you said, like game reporting and all that stuff is kind of like a small blip on the radar.
Yeah.
And now that this negative stuff has been out, like I find myself being associated with this stuff as this is the person I am. And like the people who are doing this stuff are a very minute few. I mean, gaming extends everywhere. It's like kids, middle-aged people, and then even older people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
Like my
PC
father-in-law
games.
loves playing Tetris, and you know he's 74. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just one of those things where, you know, when someone thinks of, you know, your interaction, it's like you tell them you play games. I mean, that's probably something that comes up in their head. Are you one of those sexist guys? Like,
Right.
really? Like,
No.
no.
Well, it's becoming less of, like, gaming in general is becoming less and less of a subculture that it was, and becoming just a sort of a mainstream activity, and now you have subgenres of the gaming culture that you have to, like, identify yourself with, or not, I suppose.
But I mean, was it really ever like that? Like, girls not allowed? Like,
It wasn't that they were expressly forbidden, obviously, but it was not a friendly space.
Right.
And that's because it was mostly occupied by socially awkward nerds.
Right. Socially awkward dudes who feel rejected by women, so they just play video games. And they play video games with each other, so they all get together. So it's not so much as it's like, they're not so much anti as they're just not welcoming
Yeah.
of girls in general, because they're the enemy.
The best way to view it, I guess, or no, maybe not the best way, but a way to view it is, let's say you have a man cave, and you're down there hanging with your dudes, because you're having a dude day, and then a bunch of females come down and want to, like, hang out with you, and now you're suddenly like, oh, well, now we can't just talk about hot chicks and what we like to do with them.
Boobs.
And, yeah, and stuff like that. Like,
I would keep talking about it.
Marv, this is the reason why it's hostile.
No, I'm just saying, like I said, my experience, like I've always known girls that game, and I mean the thing is it's just like any other thing. I mean, if it's not like, obviously, you know, there's the whole like thing like, oh, well, you're taught to be this kind of way, you know. So yeah, like I'm sure maybe like gaming wasn't necessarily like a thing for little girls to do, I guess.
Right.
But
It wasn't, it is now.
But, you know, it's just kind of like, you know, so yeah, they're not, most of them in my generation, I'd say, are not, you know, likely to be, like, awesome gamers because they've been playing through the years or whatever. So yeah, maybe if they come in and start playing and you're like, oh, well, they're not as skilled, I guess, maybe there can be that. But I just don't ever think it was ever like, oh, you have boobs, so I don't, well, I'm sure there's guys with boobs too, but...
Well,
you got...
I can hear you. Alright.
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, I guess
Yeah.
I never would have ever thought it was just strictly because they're a girl. I mean, like, it just... I just don't see the experience from that. I'm not trying to say it just because I've never experienced it. It's not true, but...
Well, I mean, a lot of it is a lot of sexism, and a lot of is very kind of a victim-based mentality. Not that being... Well, victim-based, I don't want to say mentality, a victim-based experience is a better way of saying it. So what you might experience yourself doesn't necessarily translate because like, you know, we're like, oh, we'll just continue on saying the things that we say and do, but somewhere inside of them they're going, wow, I'm really uncomfortable with this, but we don't know it because they either A, don't speak up, or B, more likely we're, you know, too busy not paying attention
To notice.
Yeah.
I got a raid.
Yeah.
I can't pay attention to all that shit. I got a raid. 8 hours dedicated.
You know, yeah, I don't know. Like for me, it's never been a big deal either. Like if they want to play, cool.
Yeah, just
But-
don't suck. Like,
Right.
and that goes for anybody. Like,
Right,
someone's like,
exactly.
come on, man, I'm going to invite this person over. And
Yeah.
if they suck, then I'll be like, yeah, man, you know, they can't play with us next time.
It's not okay. Take them out. But
And if the women want to play, they can just be healers.
Oh, yeah, they can only be healers, I guess.
This is yeah, that's part of that attitude.
Yeah.
But-
thanks, Ryan. Thanks for bringing us back down, man.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Someone's
we're
gotta
trying
do
to have a transgender conversation.
Yeah.
You know,
And
trying
you're
to
gonna be
dig
like,
us
nope.
out of the hole.
Chicks are only good as healers. They're horrible as anything else. Kind of horrible.
Are these your legs?
But yep, that's the kind of stuff that causes that attitude in the first place.
Oh, too bad we weren't having this conversation a little while ago, because I was like completely livid and raging over what is that girl's name, that woman's name who just makes my skin crawl. She's like advocate for this whole Gamergate thing.
For the Gamergate or against the game?
Yeah, that lady.
Anita
Oh my God.
Sarkeesian? Yeah. She's interesting.
Sometimes I wish I could grow the hand out like from that Foo Fighters video and just go to town on her face. Just
He's advocating.
Well, you know what? Actually,
Right.
I found that I don't dislike Anita Sarkeesian as much as some of her opponents, and that's mainly because, at the very least, her stuff it's not particularly
based in science or truth or fact.
But neither is any of the stuff from her opponents.
That's what I'm talking about.
She's like got like a little bit of something, and then she tries to fan the flames and make it way worse than it is.
She's a businesswoman.
Like, really?
I
She
can't
is a
actually.
businesswoman.
I can't actually argue with that.
I'm not even gonna do that, but nah.
But at the very least, she makes points and she talks a lot about how like you can still enjoy something and still be critical of something. And I think that's really the important thing to pull away from that is that it's important to be critical of what it is that you're seeing. So
You can still like it and then realize that maybe it's not.
Could be improved
Maybe it
upon.
doesn't portray women in the best way.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm all about that Conan. Crush me with your love. Right.
So, kind of switching up a little bit, still dealing with like movies and stuff like that. Something on here. What's this Chinese release date for Star Wars?
Yeah, there's not going to be a Star Wars. Like, okay, China's currently the biggest market for movies anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
But because they only allow 34 films from foreign countries into their to be showed
In their
shown
theaters.
in their theaters. Anyway,
Per year.
They actually have per year.
Per year.
Wait,
So
wow, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
34 total foreign films, not just American films, foreign films
Per year.
So
per
wow.
year. So all the slots are already filled for this year.
Oh.
So they're not going to get Star Wars
So next year.
until January at the
I bet
earliest.
they're mad about that.
And they don't even have an approved slot for any time in January for it.
Buddy.
I don't know if they're necessarily mad about it. You got to remember that Star Wars, even the prequels, but also the originals, is more of an American phenomenon than a Western phenomenon in general. So,
But there are robots. And
There are
Chinese
robots.
audience eats up robots. They love that.
Yeah.
They love Terminator Genesis. They love that movie.
yeah.
Really?
It made a ton of money over in China. You're probably going to get a Terminator 7 or 8 or whatever we're up
Because
to
of that.
because they made enough money in China off of it.
Oh.
But they'll put it out here anyway, and then make a ton of money in China.
Well, the article you linked was talking about making movies specifically for the Chinese audience.
Right. So the question that they're asking is, in the future, as China becomes more and more of the overall market share to make where movies make money, is Hollywood going to do more, like make movies that will pass the censors in China? Like China doesn't do ghosts.
Nope.
Nothing undead. They do not do anything undead in the media in
It's
China.
not okay.
So like even in World of Warcraft, had to take out all the skeletons.
Really?
Out. Ghosts out.
Out.
None of those
I
things
know that.
exist in World of Warcraft in China. Zombies doesn't exist in World of Warcraft in China.
So they must not have gotten X-Ramus or Wrath of the Lich
They-
King or anything
They
like
get
that.
did,
they get
but heavily-
different versions.
Heavily edited.
What
yeah.
about
Yes, heavily
the-
edited different versions of
No
them.
undead horses?
No undead horses, no undead anything because they
What was
because
that,
they
the Baron's
have
mouth? That was the
Yeah,
joint.
Baron,
right there.
yeah. How
Yeah.
many times did you run that for that?
A lot, but it
But
was
you-
worth it.
He did the
Everybody-
math to find out exactly how many times he had to run it to get an accurate chance at
Yeah.
something.
but so like what if there's a Force ghost in Star Wars The Force Awakens and they're like, nope, we just don't approve. So in the future, are they going to make movies that won't have undead in them or won't have ghosts in them that they're going to make? Like, is that going to like hurt? Because most of those are horror films and I don't really care anyway.
Does
So
the hologram
fine.
count as a ghost?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
But it's his dead parents, right?
Which in what?
Ooh, are you talking about the like the Force ghosts or whatever? Yeah, those are
Yeah.
still Force ghosts.
They're still
so-
ghosts
so-
at that point. They're not holograms. They're
Yeah.
Force ghosts.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
look like holograms.
Interesting,
But
side
they're
note,
technically
They
ghosts.
probably just get cut out. Is my guess.
interesting side note about China. They just recently removed or repealed their one-child per family rule.
Oh, you have 2 now.
That's interesting.
Yep.
Jackpot.
Yeah, now you can have 2 kids and not just 1.
I don't think it's that much to worry about. It's an interesting thought, and I think you're going to see movies.
Yes, but are we going to see more movies aimed at the Chinese market? Like what the Chinese people want to see, and not what we as Americans want to see necessarily.
I think it'd be a good way
to change things.
Well, that would be an excellent way to make some extra money. Like if you're a struggling production company. You find out what they are, since they bring a lot of movies. Just make a movie specifically for them. Make some of your revenue back, because the Chinese dollar, or whatever it is I think the highest currency right now. So you're going to make money.
Yeah. Well,
that would be
I think you're going to see some movies like that. I don't think it's going to be all. I mean, you still have a lot of movie companies across the world who make movies for the people of that country. And I don't think it's going to stop.
Well, that's why they only allow 34 films in, because they don't want like all the rest of the films they show are all homemade.
That's also another really good reason why we're not going to see that. If you have to vie for one spot out of 34 per year, you're not going to see a lot of movies made specifically for the Chinese.
Still technically
you got that China money though. We're talking about big. It
doesn't matter if you have that China money. You have to hope that they choose you.
You don't think that Disney spending $1 billion making like Infinity Wars 1 and 2 isn't going to be careful about what they put in there?
Disney's
to
not
make
a lot
sure
of
it passes
people.
the Chinese censors.
Disney's not a lot of people, a lot of studios. Disney's a studio that will do
Disney
it.
makes a lot of the movies that everybody watches.
Disney makes a lot of the movies that you watch.
All right.
And me, admittedly. But my point is this, is that it's not going to be easy. Because it is, like you said, worldwide. It's not going to be easy to get one of those spots. Will some of the bigger people do it? Sure. Will it be an overwhelming number of films? Hell no.
Well, that's fair.
Like, you get 34 per year, it's not going to be an
But if you're trying to make a blockbuster, if you're trying to make a Jurassic World or something like that, then you're going to be careful about what you put in the movie, because you're not going to want to offend the Chinese censors. You're not going to, Undead is just one example. They don't do anything Undead. But there are other things that they have too that they don't do. So things that you might not see in movies here anymore in those blockbusters or whatever. Because it's an interesting thought, about like how things might change. And maybe they won't change at all.
I see change. I just don't think it's going to be overwhelming by any stretch of the imagination. Until the Chinese rule on only 34 films per year opens up, then I don't foresee any large change.
Yeah.
It's just going to be better to make the movie for the audience, that you have, and then edit it a little bit. It's just going to be more cost effective that way than trying to make an entire movie based on audience when you might not even get one of those slots.
Well, okay. Yeah, that's a good little thought, bro. Think about that later, see what happens with that.
Yeah. I thought it was so interesting that they only have like...
Did you have more on that?
No. It's going to be racist. It's fine.
Oh.
It's fine. It's okay.
I was going to say, I know. I know.
You know.
I would know that.
You know about the Chinese market?
Yeah, no.
Do you?
Another thing is...
He's from Bakersfield?
Yeah.
Another thing that we were going to discuss is the new controller that just came out for Xbox One. It's got steel. Actually, you got it.
Tell us about it, Marv.
Yeah.
So tell us about these controllers.
Tell us about these controllers,
Marv just recently got this new controller, so he's going to go ahead and give you a little bit on that.
Oh, well, I didn't know I was going to be going into technical specs, but all I know is the real deal gamer experience. This is my review of the controller. So, this is the original Xbox One controller. Everyone probably that has Xbox has known this thing in and out. I have gone through 3 of these. Not because I'm raging out and throwing them down to the ground. I just feel that they are not as sturdy as the original Xbox, the Xbox 360's controllers. There are a couple very fragile points on them. The jack that you use to plug it in up here is really soft, and I believe this is an IR sensor, so that also seems to break on them. But more importantly, the things that I seem to have the issue with the most is the triggers, the bumpers, and the sticks. And what you'll find is, rapid firing or, whatever, if you're racing and putting a lot of pressure in on this, the trigger on it, it will start to lose its recognition. The D-pad sometimes will start losing its functionality, and you'll hit it, and then you have to really hit it to make it go in. And, this is the other thing. Actually, I can feel a difference right now just looking at it. It is not a smooth swivel on it, and sometimes it'll get stuck And so if you put the controller down, you'll see your selection start searching through. So I heard that this was announced at E3 and pretty much lost my shit. I was like super excited. I was like, oh my god, it's an Elite controller. It's got to be better. So then after the hype wore off, I actually started to do some research, and it looks like some of the wear items that they used on the original controller they've made with sturdier components. So you'll find that there's a lot of steel parts in the controller, so it makes it a little heavier. And then they added some bells and whistles on it, which it kind of is like those scuff controllers and some of the other like competition gaming controllers or whatever that you can buy. Price is kind of high; it's $150. But for me, like having gone through 3 of these, you look back, it's like I don't want to go through another, because it's like $50 or $60, I think, to get another one.
60 depending on
And so I went out and bought it, and my first. I've had it about a week now, and I think that it's much better. There are some features on it that, like I said, that you can call to it, like definitely call outs. On the back of it, it's got paddles, and you can map these to whatever buttons that you want, and even you can do button combinations, I believe. I haven't actually done that. I have huge ogre hands, so I actually don't even play with these upper ones on here. I just put them on just so you could see it. Like I said...
So those are removable? The paddles? So
everything on this... Well, not everything, but the sticks on the top, these are removable, and they're magnetic, and it comes with these sweet little extra additions here that you can see. Is that in there?
Yeah.
And basically you just pop one off, and you put the other one on, and then it's on there, and you can change, like, I'm sure there will be more of these that come out, or maybe third party that you can make them, but you can change the feel of your controller based on your play style or whatever the type of game is. There's like extended sticks that you can put on. This is probably something you would like, being that you like fighting games. It makes the directional pad come off, and you can put this kind of a directional pad, so it's a lot easier to move around on. I'll let you guys hold it so you can try to see, and I said try to do that one, but for me it was more of the thing on reliability. And then there are those situations where you get a game and you've got like the preset controller setups that you can do, and unlike on PC where you can be like, I don't like that and I just map my own thing, on Xbox you just kind of have to deal with it. And for example, on GTA, I just could not get past the fact that when you're flying the jets around, the roll is on the same stick as your yaw. So when you're trying to like veer to the right, you're rolling too at the same time, and then you crash. It's just terrible. So
it's a pretty terrible design.
So you could change that around, and like I said, just the durability. I mean, it just feels a lot better. And I didn't talk about the other cool feature that I found on here, which is really cool, which is I've always had a thing in shooter games to use single shot weapons, so either pistols or scout rifles or sniper rifles. And what this thing has is these trigger locks, which basically it'll shorten the key press, because you don't have to like push the trigger down all the way to activate the snipe. So instead of me just kind of like getting that sweet spot, I mean, it's just locked on there. I can just hit that thing way faster than I was able to before. There's obviously some controversy, like, oh, well, if you can't do it without all that stuff, then you shouldn't be able to do it at all. But, I mean, personally, I don't really care about that. I mean, I didn't buy the controller for that, and just because it does do it, I mean, it's there to have. So, the other thing I wanted to say, like I said, a lot of people I've read in the month or two that it was announced, there are a lot of people like, oh, well, I don't understand why you would want to do that. It's the same thing as a scuff controller. My scuff controller is $90 or whatever. And people were saying that this was way overpriced. There are some things that people aren't considering when they look at that, is the fact that with the scuff controller, to like change out your different sticks, you have to like actually take the controller apart. It's not like hot swap ready to go. You know what I mean? It's not like that. If you had the buttons mapped around that you could use in the Xbox One controller editor, it is what it is. You tell them from Scuff what you want those keys to be, and then they ship it to you, and it's like that. You can't just change it from that configuration wise. The other thing that it doesn't have that the Scuff controller, or it has that the Scuff controller doesn't have, is it has profiles on it, so you can have like a hot swap profile between two things. So you can switch over, like if you have a fighting game setup that you like versus a shooter game, you can switch over. You can also, inside the app, you can turn down like how much rumble the controller has also, because everyone knows if you play Destiny, you're riding around those speeders, your hands feel like they're going to fall off, like you've been jackhammering something.
Yeah.
You can turn it all the way down or turn it off completely. You can adjust the sensitivity like on a more direct scale than you could, based on the controller itself rather than doing it in the game. And then again, it looks cool. So has these rubber grips on the back, which is nice because when I would be playing with my friends, they had this thing where I'd say, "Be right back." They'd come over and start hitting me, and then my controller would just vibrate, off the table, right. And I'd have to be in the bathroom like trying to get it done so I could come out real quick. Stop, so I don't have to deal with that anymore. But like I said, I'll let you guys try these, and then like I said, just use this one. I mean, it just feels like a more sturdy controller, and from what I understand, like in the testing phase of them, like actually each one of these, they put it in some kind of a machine, and it actually stress tests the thing, to make sure that it handles, because they're supposed to be more sturdy. Like everyone knows that when controllers break, unless you broke it physically, it's like a gradual thing where you don't even realize that it's as bad as it is until you pick up a new controller or go to a buddy's house and you're like, oh, man, I didn't even realize it was that messed up. So, but yeah, I'm just enough talking. I'll let you guys.
Oh, yeah.
What was your question?
We're all inside that.
So, when you go to program your buttons or adjust sensitivity, is there an interface on the Xbox itself that you do that on, or do you...
Yes.
Because there has to be an interface somewhere, right, where you see that information. So there's like a controller app, so to speak.
So I'm kind of like at a loss on this because I heard some conflicting things. Like, obviously I bought the controller for that fact, but I heard someone tell me, and I haven't been able to substantiate this yet or not, but he was saying that, because right now there is an app, you go to the Xbox store and you download it, and I think it's called Xbox Interface something app or something like that. It's probably, I don't know, I left the box at home, but it will give you the ability to do all that. But what this guy was saying is that they're supposedly supposed to be opening that up for all Xbox controllers, so even the original ones with the new experience that's coming, the new Xbox One experience, and that's supposed to give the functionality to all of them. But for me, that kind of seems strange because that really is the only reason why I bought the thing, the fact that it's supposedly sturdier and then you can change the buttons around. I think they'd be shooting themselves in the foot if they could do it with any of these controllers. So, I mean, it's possible. I know that you can use the regular Xbox controller on a PC, right?
Right.
So, and that's the other thing. This is supposedly supposed to be ready to go for PC. So,
which is kind of nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like the fact that the pieces are all magnetic. That's the neat.
Yeah, it keeps it from flying off, but at the same time.
I was concerned about that. Like, would they just fall off? But no, they're pretty on there, pretty good.
Yeah. Wow, those actually feel pretty good. Those.
Yeah,
those pretty natural.
Imagine with the magnets they have like the ball that you can get for fighting games.
Like move the stick around like cool? In a swivel, and then do it on this one.
Oh, that's entirely different. It has a nice it's pretty high quality. I would buy one of those if I had an Xbox. Fortunately, I'm a Sony nerd. Well, it was given to me. And I just never went out and bought an Xbox One.
No. Now would be the time. They got all these crazy bundles going around. I bought it when it first came out, and I'm looking at how much I spent and what little I got versus what everyone else is getting. But
you gotta show up on Black Friday to Best Buy or whatever and get trampled to death.
That is weird. Like if you hold it the way you're supposed to.
Yeah, but I never hold it like that anyways.
How do you hold it? Really? That's how you're supposed to hold that?
I mean, if you want to have access to everything at the same time, you're firing.
You're not switching your index fingers from the bumpers to the.
Yeah, I put.
Yeah, who's got one for that?
I hold it like this.
That just feels weird.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I had normal sized person's hand, I could just do it like this,
Well, I always just.
I have my pinkies curled around the bottom like that, and then I use these.
Well, I thought those paddles would be really obtrusive and just kind of annoying. But they're really not. Just hold the controller. It's really not. It feels really good.
Yeah, I can see though where you press them on accident.
Yeah,
and you can just remove them.
But you can just take them off.
Just take them off,
just deactivate them.
Matter of fact, today I was driving.
From there, just to I just do this all the time.
I was driving GTA in my high-powered supercar and doing like max speed on the freeway. And I accidentally tapped the right bumper on the bottom, which is X to get out. I just rolled out on the freeway and watched my car go down. I was like, oh, well, there's that.
Yeah, why don't they have a trigger lock all the time? Like, why do they have anything other than the trigger lock?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because what's the point of having like all of this space in order to activate the trigger?
So they can charge you $150 for a controller like that.
I think that the reason, I don't know that the pressure sensitivity is functional when the trigger lock is engaged, because I would assume that would be the reason. I don't know for a fact, I haven't tested anything, but I know like on certain games, like it needs that range of the thing to do it. So, because at the point that it clicks is where it registers, right?
Right.
So I'm guessing, I'm spitballing here, I don't know.
I suppose that makes sense, but I don't understand why they need that much space for...
Other
than like that's just the way they designed the controller, because everything fits that way, and so that it leaves you with this extra space or whatever. But
since we're on the topic of controllers, though, I would say that something that if you have the original Xbox One controller, it definitely is worth it to go to the Xbox One controller 2.0, and that's the one that has the 3.5 jack on the bottom, because the bumpers are really hard to click. When you're with this, and they actually made some changes to it to make it so you can actually, there are ways on here that you can't even click it, you know.
I know a lot of the headphones have that big thing that plugs into the bottom of the Xbox controllers. Do these bumpers get in the way of that at all?
Nope. I have the Astro A40s and the M80, I think, amp, headphone amp.
Do your buttons come off? Buttons should be magnetic too.
He's asking if the button.
Oh no. No.
I'll replace my buttons with Z, Q, R, and T, so I don't have to be a slave to their choice of alphabet.
What was I saying? No, but it just plugs on there, and you just don't even notice it there. I mean, it was never intrusive anyway. I mean, actually, I think I have Ryan's in here. I took off so that you could see a weight.
Yeah, he stole my little bit.
I just wanted it to be an even comparison.
Well, I like how you put it in your pocket, though. Like, you didn't put it on the table.
Nope. I planned on keeping it. I put the batteries out, and because I wanted it to be...
feel the same? The same weight and stuff,
same.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I mean, it's... Yeah.
Okay.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So that's this little bit. It's from the microphone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. People, like I said, I've got some friends who have mixed feelings. They're like, "Oh, I can't believe you spent
Tell them to
money
buy
on
it.
that."
Try it out.
I mean, seriously, after using it, it feels way better. I mean, even this, it's quieter, and like I said, I mean, I can feel right there. That's the thing right there. That clickety click 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 click. So.
But I like how you can
the
buy...
The bumpers do feel good too.
Yeah, they feel real good.
Response.
You can buy, these things wear out on these controllers in your SOL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where out here, you just buy another couple, things.
Yeah, they have these other ones where you're supposed to make the sticks taller, and I tried doing that the other day. It was just weird. I was like...
Well, you get used to it after
Frankenstein.
Well, yeah, I think it's just for people who have large heads, like you.
No. There you go.
Shots fired.
Try the directional pad.
I couldn't do it. I want to see that. Anyways, anything else?
Marv and I have been playing the new Halo
yeah. Talk about that a little bit.
So, yeah.
So it's Halo 5 Guardians is what it's called?
Yeah, Halo 5 Guardians.
And how does it relate to the story? No, I've never played 4, so...
Yeah. Are we gonna do spoilers? Is that what?
Oh yeah.
We'll do spoilers.
Okay.
Look, it's been out for what, a week now?
It's been out since Tuesday.
On Legendary.
Okay.
So.
It's been out since Tuesday, so if you're still questioning and don't spoil, then cry about it.
Nobody watches this podcast. Who cares?
I know. So, yeah.
Literally no one does.
I enjoyed it. Now, I had done a little bit of pre-gaming. Like, I went online and watched a bunch of...
You got shrunk before?
Well...
You played Halo 5?
I guess I shouldn't say pre-gaming. That's not really the right term. I did a little bit of research and went back and watched all the story mode mission videos and stuff like that from Halo 4. Just so that I could kind of understand... Right, no.
I felt like at the end of Halo 3, I felt like we had pretty much done everything that needed to be done.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the Covenant were pretty much... taken care of. The Flood were pretty much gone, so...
Yeah, but Master Chief was floating in space, though.
Yeah, but that's alright.
Yeah, but that's
a tragic story.
Like, right.
It's a tragic story.
Let him go. Like, the need for him is gone at this point. We're past that.
He already... And plus he said, he goes, I think our audio's getting screwed up on there. We might not have an audio version of this. Anyway.
Doesn't look like it's tapped.
Yeah, it'll probably give me some... I gotta reset the midis on here. Anyway,
Shouldn't we have audio?
Well, we got audio from that too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, so...
Okay, so give us the short and sweet version of Halo 4.
Halo 4 or 5?
Halo 4.
4.
You go...
I never played 4 either.
Halo 4, you get introduced to the Forerunners, like they're coming back.
Okay.
Didact.
Yeah, which... I'm trying to remember everything about
Basically,
it now,
yeah, it was like...
spot.
It was a little ridiculous. Honestly,
they introduced a lot of story in way too short a time period.
Yeah.
Like Halo 4 it starts off like Master Chief and Cortana floating in space on that busted ass ship,
right?
And they come across. Well, they don't come across, but this Forerunner planet is there. And it sees that, and it sucks everything into it, and scans it or whatever. And so the ship that Cortana and Master Chief are on gets sucked into this planet. Okay. So they crash land. It's just like being on another ring. There's like dense or vegetation.
Right.
And so Cortana's like hacking into the Forerunner stuff and learning about their deals. But then like Covenant ships get sucked in, and then I guess like the distress beacon from Master Chief's ship gets, I forget the name of the frigate or whatever, but the one that Colonel Lasky is the captain on or whatever,
right.
It gets sucked in too, and then like, so you're fighting the Covenant, and then you're fighting the Forerunners that are awakening, and then this Didact guy comes up and he's like bent on human destruction, because apparently humans are like the fear of the universe or whatever, like we're the ones that will destroy everything or whatever, so he wants to wipe everybody out.
That seems fairly accurate.
And then
that's what we do pretty much.
There's a pretty cool cutscene that shows like the humans running, and they're running from the Flood or something, weren't they?
I can't.
Well, wasn't it something like I think the Flood were developed to kill us specifically or something weird like that? I can't remember.
Well, no, like
it's
the
weird.
Forerunners built the Flood, and like basically.
Weren't we Forerunners too? I thought.
Yeah, like man
something like
has,
human being Forerunners.
Yeah, like man has some special like thing that makes us better than the Forerunners or whatever, and like the Forerunners were split between like and I'm really hazy on this, but like it wasn't like all the Forerunners were for humans, like because some of them were like they don't know what they have, and the other people were like no, we must protect them.
Right.
So that's what you're dealing with through the story, and at the end like. During that campaign, like Cortana's like all messed up. She's like dealing with it's called rampancy or whatever. So like her AI code is no longer able to assemble itself anymore, reassemble itself. So she starts kind of flipping out and everything. And so all the way through the game, like she's like at the end, she like sacrifices herself for the chief or whatever, and like stops the Didact from like getting to Earth or whatever and killing everybody. And then Master Chief's like no. So. That's how the game ends, and then
that's his girl, yo.
And I feel like there's a lot of story left out between that and 5, because 5, like now Master Chief knows where Cortana is and is like going for her, and you're like, oh, what? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Cortana shows herself to him when he falls into the the caverns of that one place, and then he's like, oh, she's alive and she's heading here to Meridian.
Yeah, he's like on a mad dash to find her, I guess. And so he's just like, or no, it wasn't even that. He was actually, because now it's starting to come clear to me. So basically it was like, he's like so heartbroken, I guess, because she's gone, that he's just going mission after mission after mission trying to like fill the void, I guess.
Right.
And then then she shows herself to him, and then he's like, "Oh, I must go find her," and he goes off. And the Guardians for Halo 5 Guardians is it's where you cross universe into Destiny. And no, I'm just kidding.
That would not surprise me. It would not surprise me.
No, basically they're these giant like planet destroying like machines that the Forerunners built. And
I'm sure it's
like.
not.
It's very
sounds
Mass
like Destiny
Effect.
to me.
Yeah,
It's very
Mass
Mass
Effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she like calls
Very
all of those
Reavers.
Guardians together, and she's like gonna go wipe out anyone that would pose a threat to the galaxy. So Master Chief is trying to stop her from doing that because she's like good but kind of too good. She's like bent on realizing she's gonna kill a bunch of people.
Right.
You know? And like some of these Guardians are underneath the ground, beneath civilization. She just raises them up.
Nice.
Wipes out
Kills all
entire,
those people.
Right.
But she's also recruiting the other AIs to her cause.
Right.
So like,
because she can cure rampancy or whatever.
yeah.
or
So
something.
all these AIs are like, well, we're now going to be the king shits.
Wait, so she's not rampant anymore?
Nope. She's completely.
She's just nuts. And then it's like the whole like hunt the hunter or whatever thing is between Master Chief just goes AWOL from his post and starts going after Cortana, and Dr. Halsey comes back in, who I call Stumpy, Dr. Stumpy, because he got her arm cut off for some reason. But anyway,
That wasn't fun.
was it?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that. But so she's got the Spartan Lock, the Oni, like trying to like go after Master Chief, and they're enemies at first because they're trying to stop the Master Chief, and there's some squabble there, and then by the end of the game they're like, all right, let's do this together. So you have like an 8-person squad.
Of course they are.
So how do you, like, not necessarily from a story standpoint, because personally I think that jumped the shark with 4 pretty heavily, but from a gameplay standpoint it looked pretty different to me from the videos I was watching.
It was very disorienting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's several times where I just was like, I couldn't get it. I was just playing through. I was just like, all right, I gotta stop, think about how this works again,
Yeah.
and go for it.
I don't know if it's because we played Destiny for so long,
Yeah,
but
it's not that.
It's not that different.
Destiny's basically Halo.
it's Destiny is like original Halo was,
Right.
Like with the slow jumps, and like the melees that do a little bit of a lurch or whatever. The way the surroundings look, it looked very much like
Right.
original Halo 2 style stuff, But this one is not like that. And when I got in, I was kind of expecting it to be like that, and like I just got disoriented. I was just getting laid out left and right. I mean, I was playing on Legendary, and my friends had already gotten 2 missions in, but I mean, I was just getting laid out. I was like, I'm gonna put this down and try it again tomorrow.
Right.
And then after playing for like an hour, it got better. So
You can do 4-player co-op.
Well, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
yeah, you could do that with 3.
Could you?
Oh, could you?
Yeah.
I
Oh.
don't know. You could
Yeah,
have.
remember we all did it, but we didn't. Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't get to be like 4 people, 4 different people. It was like Master Chief, somebody was, and everybody else was like all elites,
Right.
You didn't get to pick, but in this one you get to play a member of whoever's squad, like either Spartan Lock squad or Master Chief.
Yeah, red and blue. Oddly enough, it's
Yeah.
red versus blue. So
Of course it is.
Blue team, yeah.
So was other than that, like once you got used to the gameplay, do you think it's better than, as good as the original Halo feel?
I thought it was a good experience.
yeah.
It was very. I mean, obviously, Halo is all about like captivating, breathtaking cityscapes. You know what I mean? Like these opening sequences that would just open up and you see the sky and like all these like foreground and background like all over the place. And I thought the game did really good at doing that.
Detail, yeah. The detail was amazing. The graphics were amazing.
Like Halo was basically on rails. Like you had small limited maps, but it still felt so
Huge.
big.
Right. And like this is the same way. It's no different. I mean, it's better than that. I mean, again, I remember saying multiple times on the microphone, like, yeah, this is probably Xbox One's first next-gen game. Like, it definitely feels next-gen in terms of, like, what they've done with the processing power of the game and all that. Like, it's just really good. I mean, the color's really nice. I mean, I have an LED TV, so things are a little brighter, but, I mean, I can only imagine what it would have been like on my old plasma. I mean, it's just really, really rich color. And the gameplay was enhanced. I think that the AI is smarter than it ever has been in most Halo games before. None of your old tricks would really work. I mean, the grenade, weaken them up, shoot them down, I mean, that always will work, but, you know, like, you try to do pop shots, like I was saying earlier, where, you know, you're low on ammo, you gotta reload or whatever, and he's got a bunch of people over there, you can pop shots at them and they'll just stay over there. No, they just charge you.
Yeah.
Start to reload and realize it. That's actually pretty cool.
So, multiplayer. Did you play any multiplayer?
Yep.
He's played a lot of multiplayer.
I want to know about the, what is it called?
Warzone?
Warzone, yeah.
So what is Warzone?
So Warzone is like, it's kind of a play on big team battle, but a little differently because there's objectives now instead of just, you know, 12
like
on 12
capture the flag or whatever.
Yeah. So this is like...
so it's more like Battlefield-like, where you have like multiple objectives that you have to accomplish?
So the way the game type works on just regular standard Warzone is you have your start zones, and then there's like 3 other zones there, and then like the idea is to have the most ticket points at the end, or I don't even know if they're called tickets. You just want to have the most points, and you can do that by either capturing the neutral objectives, like there's a west and east armory, like some middle objective that's in the middle of everything. And so basically, you stand in those, and then as you get kills, you get enhanced points towards your team. And then also, there will be these NPCs that spawn in, and like, it'll be like, there's elites over at the armory, you gotta go over there and kill those, and whichever team kills them gets the points. And that increases your score.
So the NPCs count towards more objective points, though.
Right, yeah. You'll get like 150 versus 1 kill equals 1 point.
It's like old school All-Track Valley.
And yeah, pretty much. And it's actually almost like that in a sense that where you get random spawns that are right by them, which kind of sucks because, you know, they've got banshees flying around.
Right.
And then also, if you capture all of the points, then the other team's reactor core becomes available, and then you can go into their base and shoot that down, and it's an automatic win. So, but
so it's like All-Track.
Yeah, like alternate.
Pretty much exactly. Like that,
that's actually pretty cool.
It is interesting because you know that I don't know if you guys are aware of that new rec system that they were talking about.
No.
Okay, so they have introduced microtransactions to some degree into Halo universe, and as far as I mean, I'm starting to kind of embrace this because honestly, that is the next gen thing. I really feel like all of the games that are coming out are going to have some type of microtransactioning.
Everything's going to be microtran. Like everything will be microtran in the future.
At first, I was like, "Oh man, they just ruined Halo," but honestly, it's not as intrusive as you might think it is. In the Warzone game setup, the way it works is you will get standing points. So as you do kills and all that, you get points at the end of the game. If you win, you get more, blah, 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 yada, yada. With those points, there's like bronze tier, silver tier, and gold tier. And once you get enough points to get one of those, you click, say, hey, I want this requisition pack. And then you open it up, and then it gives you like a bunch of stuff. And you'll get these little cards. Those cards can be either cosmetic stuff, you know, make your Spartan look different, you know, or have a different color visor or a different helmet or, you know, a stance that looks cool or whatever. Or they can be like an assassination move, which is also, I mean, obviously you come up behind someone, you do an assassination graphic, doesn't really do anything different, but look different.
It's the same assassination, just looks different.
So those are all cosmetic changes that you can do. You get emblems and stuff like that in there too. So
that's kind of cool.
That's a cosmetic kind, and then there's another type of power-up that you can get, which is like starting weapons, you know, type deal. So as you play in Warzone, you will develop a level bar. So you're killing stuff, you know, capturing objectives, whatever. You go level up inside the game. So I think it goes like 1 to 8, or maybe 1 to 10. I don't know. I've only been as high as 8. But the higher level you are, the better stuff you can start with. So you can choose to start with, instead of the assault rifle and the pistol, you can choose to start with like a battle rifle or an enhanced battle rifle or whatever. So you get these permanent certificates. Those are another thing that can come in there. So
and you level each game. You level like you start off at the beginning at 1 to every game, and as you get more.
Right.
Okay.
So I guess my question is: are these points that you can earn them in game, or you can buy them, purchase them?
Yeah, you can buy them. $2.99. You can just buy the pack itself. You don't even need the points.
Okay, but you can do either or.
Yeah.
So it sounds kind of like the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer.
Very much like the Mass Effect, yeah.
Where you buy a box or whatever, and inside the box has stuff.
Yeah.
And
I
most of it's cosmetic.
A little bit more controversial in a game that is head-to-head, PvP based.
Well, see, that's where this is, and that's why people, I think, should chill out a little bit, because it's kind of important for that game type, because there's so much stuff going on. You need the vehicles and everything to balance everything back out. Otherwise, the games would take forever, because it actually is fairly difficult to kill people with just the regular guns, So that was what I was going to get to. So in the middle, you've got the certificates, which is like every game at this point I start with this weapon. You can set those up. And then the last thing you can get is like power-up cards, vehicles, and like little abilities that you can do with your Spartan type, like cloaking or run speed or melee power or things like that. And those are the ones that you can get, and I felt like those would be scary to use, because someone's just gonna spawn in with a tank and just annihilate everybody. But they have a really cool system. So like, first of all, you have to get up to the right level to use the tank card, or maybe get lucky and get out of a random vehicle card, which is a little lower. But once you use the ability, it knocks your level back down, and then you can't use it again for a while. You know what I mean?
Fascinating.
So it's not.
Up some.
Yeah, so it's not as bad as I just keep spawning tanks in. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like I said, I feel like it's cool, and then some of the guns are a little not the same as I remember Halo. I just remember that battle rifle just annihilating people. It was just headshot city with that thing.
The shotgun was pretty weak.
Shotgun seems to be weaker, but all in all, I think
disappointment.
Yeah, I think the
Hunters
gameplay
are stronger.
Right. Yeah, you can't even kill. I remember you used to get behind those things and shoot them with a pistol.
Right,
and
just
they're
get
done.
his pistol.
Yeah, it doesn't work
That's the best
that
way to kill
way.
a hunter.
They just turn around now and just their thing just lights green and blows you up.
Yeah.
So I feel like the Warzone is missing some key mechanics, because it's 12 on 12. I mean, you get in there and like mini fire teams, like you can get your friends in there and all go in and play, and it's cool. But the problem is you can't spawn on your fire teammates. So if you're trying to play with your friends, you gotta look for their service tag and hopefully not get killed to it, so you can get close to each other. And if you die, then you gotta do all that over again. I feel like that's kind of a shortcoming. And then the other thing is since it's all these bases that you can spawn at, it would be really nice to see what's going on at that base before you choose to spawn there. Like it'll show like a bird's eye view, or like in Battlefield, you can see, on the map what's going on where.
Yeah.
Because there are times where you'll spawn in and then they're just right there and you just die. And then you spawn in again somewhere else and they're just right there and you die.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really audibly say, hey, they're taking this base to like divert people to there to defend. It's like, they've just taken this base. So it's too late.
It's too late.
It's too late. You have to take it back now. You can't stop them from taking it. So.
I feel like that's also a shortcoming. But that's Warzone. And then they have classic multiplayer, which you can still accumulate requisition points there too. But there you can only use like the power-ups, like increased rep gain or things like that, And then of course you can use your
your cosmetic stuff
there.
Yeah. So they have the same game types they classically have in Halo. You got your capture the flags,
they've got
King of the Hills.
I don't know that they had King of the Hill. They've kind of taken Capture the Flag and King of the Hill and put them together, I believe. I can't remember what that's called. But the game setup is basically 4-on-4, and it's elimination. So you kill everybody or capture their flag.
Yeah.
They have SWAT still. They've got Slayer. They've got Team Slayer, and then
is there Forge?
No.
No
Forge. Wait, what is Forge? Was where you can make your own
maps.
They still have that. I saw that in there.
Okay.
I think I haven't messed with a whole lot of that. I just tried SWAT, and I was annihilated people in that. That was funny.
SWAT is the best game that Halo
SWAT is really good.
But they took the grenades out of that. Remember, it was always like you had pistols.
You gotta take grenades out of SWAT, dude. You can't have grenades.
They died too easy.
It's cheating.
They had pistols. I remember they had pistols, grenades, and battle rifles. I thought. I don't know. There was never any grenades.
Well, in Halo 2 there weren't grenades, I guess. I don't know for sure about 3 or 4, but in Halo 2 they did not have grenades. Everyone just had battle rifles, that's pretty much it, and pistols.
Yeah, well,
but
they
the
took the
pistols
out.
Sucked, so...
Yeah. Well, the pistol's back to the Halo 1 pistol, so you can really do some stuff on that.
Ooh,
the Halo 1 stuff was good. It was like the guided Halo.
It was my favorite one.
Halo to use.
Snipe someone across the map with the pistol.
Yep.
Boop.
And there's actually a lot of story, like, okay, so that I feel like the arena style gameplay is good.
Right.
So once you get used to, sorry, Ryan.
Oh, you're fine.
I'm gonna just give that back to you. I feel like once you get back to get used to the war zone, it's not as bad. I mean, we were getting rocked the first 2 days, and now my friend, because again, you're not used to using power-ups, you're just running around getting your shoot on, and that's not enough to win. So
you gotta do something
now
else.
I just use Rex every time I spawn, and I got enough going to where I'm getting them, and I have them. I actually paid real money for $10. I bought 3 packs.
It's a good incentive. I'll do it. But
I just figured, try it out.
Yeah, I'll do it. But speaking of first-person shooters, and I don't have a whole lot on this because I haven't got to play the game. I know that Overwatch has finally got into beta. There are a lot of people streaming it. The game looks insanely fun, and I can't wait to play it. Even though I come away watching the streams feeling pretty woozy and sick to my stomach, I still want to play the game.
Yeah.
So, looks really good. We'll have more on it once I actually get to play it. But
I want to my email yet.
Yeah. Check it.
Everyone knows Blizzard loves me more than you. So.
My best friend, my friend at work is really interested in playing that game. He's been talking about it for some time.
It's pretty cool. We'll have to talk about it later. But anyway, anything else, Ryan? I think that's
it.
Is that it? All right.
I mean, yeah. So thanks for coming out. Check us out, RSGPodcast.com. New website's up. I realized for the past probably 3 or 4 weeks, and you read it's oh, check us out. It's just a white screen.
Yeah.
Lies.
It's back up now. You can catch our videos there. You can also find us at YouTube at RSG Podcast. Facebook, Random Subject Generator at RSG Podcast on Twitter, and on Google Plus as RSG Podcast. This guy, you can check him out on Twitch.
Yep, Cryogenics.
You might want to spell that because you don't spell it normally.
Yeah, Cryogeniks. That's right.
KX?
Yeah.
Alright.
Hey man, I was like 13. It's overkill.
You'll see him do a lot of Warzone on his Twitch stream and stuff like that. Check it out. Fallout 4 is coming out. I'm going to be picking that up. And I'll be doing some streaming with that. I'm sure you will.
Is the podcast still going to be going on when Fallout 4 comes out, Ryan? Are we going to even see you anymore?
That's a
Ryan gets like that. Like when Skyrim came out, it disappeared off the face of the earth for a month.
It says, "Remember Skyrim."
And next week, look forward. We are going to have our BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Our BlizzCon episode.
We're going to be doing a few episodes, more than likely. We're going to be live tweeting through some of the BlizzCon stuff. We're also going to be doing podcast recaps at the end or whatever, if we're still awake.
Need for Speed comes out on Tuesday.
It's true.
Exciting.
But I already spent
it does
money
look pretty.
on Halo.
It looks really pretty.
Yeah, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Need for Speed,
Yeah, but that screenplay is just awful.
Is it?
Is it really?
It's just, I mean, I feel
Are you
bad.
just hating?
I am a person who likes cars in real life and modifies cars, and the way they depict us in that type of movie is awful. Like seriously, there's a dude that comes up and his hat is like turned sideways. He's like, "Yeah, bro, sick run," and I'm like, I'm starting to feel guilty playing it. Like that's how people see me. But it was good. The customization is excellent in that game. The only thing I thought was weird is why was it always raining? Because as a real car person, I'm not like, it's raining outside. This is a great day to go out and run 180 miles an hour.
But come back for that. I'm sure we'll talk a lot about that. May get Marv back on for that. If you guys don't send us any hate mail, but if you do, we'd like to reply. So send us your trolls.
Do a pre-reply.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, well, thanks for coming out. Have a good night.